Your basketball career might not have been, as illustrious as like some of the others, but you were still captain and you were still like kind of leading them, and you guys had really great success. And, I kind of find myself in the same boat where it's like, I'm not the best at this or that, but you surround yourself with people who are
absolutely
really amazing. And, I don't know do you think that kind of shaped how you were kind of able to grow? And, because you started at Russell Westbrook Enterprises, but you weren't president at the time, but now you've become that and you're CEO of a new company. And, how would you say that leading teams like that kind of translated to the success you have today?
Yeah, I think it plays a big part. Really. And first off, I think my parents gave me a lot of confidence growing up that I was able to translate into basketball. And I think just that confidence, you kind of get respect in the locker room, right? And you help people to have that confidence in themselves, believe in a bigger picture than only, once you're in college, everybody's just trying to play to get to the pros. So it's everybody may not buy into the system of like what Coach Calhoun wants. I actually just seen Coach Calhoun at Kimba's wedding last month, and he put me aside and he was like, "Thank you for what you did for the 2011 team. Like, we don't win that championship without your leadership." So, things like that mean a lot. And before working with Russ, I worked, for probably had 50 other jobs. Most recently, I worked at a boutique wealth management firm before working with them, and so. I always tell people about my journey is that it's easy to kind of look at Russ and I. We've been, say close friends since I was 13 years old. To see that he made it to the NBA and then he just gave a job to a close friend, and we're just trying to build this thing that's typical for athletes. But I didn't start working with Russ until his 10th season into the NBA, right?
Yeah.
So it was about me really building myself up. The plan was never for us to kind of work together. It was for me. It was always wanted to just add value from afar. I didn't want him to fall into some of the traps that I've seen other athletes falling for. But within that, Russ is really smart about how he builds his community. I think he saw that I was putting a lot of value in myself, taking what I'm doing very serious, and then always respected me as a friend and as somebody who has his best interest. So it kind of naturally happened, but I think the qualities that I took from, sports definitely translate to kind of what I'm doing today and how we run the company, how we start to drive vision and build camaraderie, not only internally on our teams, but with partners as well, because it's a huge part of like what we're doing.
So what is the mandate of Russell Westbrook Enterprises under your leadership? It's profit with purpose.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So, how big of a role does that play when you decide to embark on a venture or invest in a an investment?
I mean, it's like the only thing. It's why we look at something versus why we wouldn't look at something, right? I think there's a small nuance of the portfolio that I oversee that there's some things that are just like, we really love this product, we really love this founder that we invested in.
Yeah.
95% of kind of things that we've seen invested in or spent our time with, if it doesn't have an impact component, if it doesn't have kind of a social responsibility component to it, we probably won't look at it. We actually just passed on a few deals recently that we couldn't find like how this benefits the world or how it benefits community. But we like the concept, so it just wasn't a fit. So, profit with a purpose is something that honestly I was thinking about this at 3 a.m. one day, and I text Russ. It was like 4 a.m. I was like, that is like our thesis. That's what we base everything off of. And those are more for like investments and kind of what we're doing. And then when we go to like the building phase, which we've done pretty well over the last 5 years, it's all about the shared value model, right? It's like, how do we have our business objectives meet community objectives? And if we can't find sense within that, then we probably won't do it. But, we leverage the success of, our business to drive societal change in communities that we work in and that we represent.
And I want to talk about Zero World Media a little bit. I know you told stories like Tulsa burning. I did read something about the Black Fives era too. Is that something you guys worked on? what is the purpose of putting these out? Is it to document like stories so they're not forgotten, or is it to bring awareness? I mean, I guess those could be one and the same, but what is the thought behind producing these or investing in these projects?
Yeah, that's a great question. We the purpose of it was just to, it's a mix of what you said. It was for these stories not to be forgotten, untold stories, and then stories that have impact, primarily on history or Black history in America, where we resonated with. That's really what our focus was with it. And we didn't really want Zero Media to be like, hey, we have this big athlete led production company. I think we have too many of those today. I think it's a little saturated in the marketplace. But we looked at Zero Media as an avenue to tell stories that we don't think are being told today, that we could then help to bring awareness to, and they had some impact on us. I think from our business model and what we've done with it with Zero Media, that's really birthed, RW Digital, which is our digital media company that we have, where we do programmatic media buying for a lot of large advertisers. And some of that includes custom content that Zero Media produce, so like a Walmart or a PepsiCo, some of our big clients today.
I see.
We really, again, we looked at the marketplace and we said, hey, we can be another athlete driven kind of production company, or, we could look at a different part of the supply chain within marketing and media and really tackle that and kind of create something different. And I think we've done that really well. We've grown that business.
I will say when you look at not just athletes, but maybe celebrity backed ventures or celebrity backed things, it feels almost like self promotion.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at a lot of what you guys have done together, it doesn't feel, you can really feel the purpose there.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like you're just pushing things out because you have a name brand that you can push out, right? It's almost not associated with that almost.
Yeah. And that's intentional. And that's intentional. I think the goal is that, we don't necessarily need Russ to run and operate the business.
Mm-hmm.
He's the cherry on top to what we're doing. And so people, hopefully see value in, what we built and what we bring. And then we bring Russ in, when needed. And I think he likes that, and he gets to drive vision on a lot of it. And then, we go and execute. So I think that's where the trust factor with him and I come into play. Again, been friends for 20, 25 years now. So once we kind of come up with a concept, he trusts me to go run the play and really execute it.